want to keep their tissue paper intact, meaning do not cut it, cut along the cut lines. Just in case they want to make this pattern for a family, for themselves, a family member, customer, so they don't want to cut the actual pattern piece itself along the cut lines. So what they would do is just take a piece of tracing paper, clear tracing paper, like this. Like this one. And see if I can get a piece of that. And what they would do is, the light is kind of in the way. Here you can see it a little better. Lay it on top and trace the whole pattern out, including any markings, and then trace their cut line. So if the second one is their cut line, they'll trace the second line all the way down. And again, they'll trace any markings. So you can feel free to do that, but I had to cut 12 pieces, and it probably took me about 15 minutes just to roughly cut it. So, you know, most definitely I believe in prepping. So one day, you know, most definitely if you want to use the pattern again, like I said, that's just another step that you're just going to have to take. You're just going to, you know, have to allot time in order to do that. And it's absolutely nothing wrong, and it's actually okay to do that. And a lot of people do it. Okay, so this one doesn't have a lot of symbols, but we'll go over what's on here. So this is the skirt side back. All right, and as you see on here, it gives you the pattern, piece number, the company pattern style number, and the sizes, and tells you a description of what it is, what it's for, what views it's for. And this is the lengthwise grain. And remember, I was telling you, is the arrow at the top, arrow at the bottom, lengthwise grain. And that just tells you that this line is parallel to the selvage of your fabric. And just think of this as this runs the length of your body. So as you can see, this is the side, skirt side back. So this is the skirt going down. So obviously it's running the length of your body. So just think of that grain that way. Because sometimes some patterns don't have the grain on there. So just visualize where is that on your body. Is it going down your body? Is it going across your body? If it's going down your body, then that's where you draw the lengthwise grain symbol. Let's see. You see there's a notch on the side seam. And this is to match up the front. Or this is the side back. So I don't know what it's called, but it's probably called front back. Let me see. No, just the bodice back. So this will match up the bodice back. So you'll find one of these on the bodice back. If I can find it real fast, I will show you. Bodice back is 3. See if I can find this in this pile real fast. There's this one. That'll probably match the front because it's the side seam. Sorry guys, this is where this matches up on the front. This is the front, back. I keep saying back front, but bodice back. And this is going to match up. As you can see, they connect. They will connect here. So those are like markings to help you know where they connect to. Okay. What else? Again, along the side seam, that'll match the side seam of the front. So this is the back. This notch will match the side seam of the front. Again, it tells you the different sizes. This little dash line, remember we were telling you about the dash line? That's where, and the dash and the double lines here, that's this way. That's where you can lengthen or shorten your pattern piece. So again, remember, I can't do it because I don't have it. And my little holder here, you know, you pinch. If you're shortening, you pinch it and you fold up to meet that line. And that's how you shorten it. To lengthen, you would just cut along that line, separate the pieces, put another piece of tissue paper on the back, and tape them together. Good with that pattern piece. Let's see on here again, your lengthwise grain, and that goes the length of your body. Here it's telling me this is the waistline. That's the shortened lengthened area there again. Bodice back. It had a side panel. So this matches up with the side panel. This is at the shoulder seam notch. So on this is the back. So the front has a front shoulder seam, and it'll also have a notch, so those will match. So when you do that, you just make sure to match up your notches. This is along the neck. So your front will have a neck notch too. So you just match those up. And these are some inner circles. There's someplace else on some pattern. It'll probably either be side piece. Let me see. It's not on the side. But on some other piece, you'll find a matching dot. And on your instructions, it'll tell you when to match up the dots. So you just have to make sure to transfer all your markings. So everything, you have to take a nice good look at your pattern piece. Okay, 1 second. And make sure to put all your markings, transfer all your markings. Let's see. There's something different on here. Okay, so this one gives you, on one pattern piece, you'll find the finished measurements. And it's just listed here, finished measurements. But luckily, Simplicity has the finished measurements on the back of the pattern. And this is at the hip. It's telling you it's the hip, finished garment measurement at the hip. Again, you'll see those are some dots, notches. You just have to make sure to transfer all of those. Those are just matching up. Since this is the skirt side front, that's probably matching the top bodice piece of the front. That's it for that one. So here's some of those other dots. So those are probably where they corresponded to, those previous dots. And this is the front, so that's probably where that corresponds to, those dots. So again, like I said, the instructions will tell you. You just got to make sure to transfer your particular, and your particular dot. You don't transfer all of them. I'm gonna make that clear. You look for your size and you transfer your size only, okay? And every one of these notches and symbols corresponds to your size. So again, you do not mark all of the sizes, all of the notches for all the sizes, just your size. Down here is some more circles. So again, just your size. You just marked where your size is, the dot for your particular size. So this one's just a bunch of... Mommy. Yes, baby. Oh, okay. Okay, y'all. So you get the idea. I'm gonna have to go see what's bothering my baby there. So you get the gist. So I'm coming, baby. So what you do now, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna cut along my line because it was just me, so I'm not gonna use it for anybody else. Okay, come here. Get a tissue. Get a tissue. It doesn't matter. And then I'll come back and we'll go from there. We'll do the braiding. Okay, so let's go over braiding. So all I did was, these are 2 pieces. This is the bodice, 1 piece. This is the skirt portion, which is another piece. And all I did was line them up along the side seam so that you can see a little space in there. So this is the bodice. From this point up, bodice, this point down is the skirt. And all I did is line them up so that the lines and sizes match along the side seam. Okay, and at the waist, it gives you the finished waist measurements here for each one of the sizes, and typically these match up. As you can see, sometimes they don't. In that instance, all you do is you pick one, and I usually do bodice. Where's that? So I can see. Let me find it. There we go. And I'll just pick one and draw so that the triangles now match up. And sometimes you gotta do that, you know. It happens. So just do that so that matches up. 2 dots, that probably, so this is the side. Somehow this matches up with something else. Okay, so adjustments. So remember what I was saying, most definitely look at your finished measurements on your pattern pieces, and we already went through that on the back of your envelope. And for me, I write mine in an envelope. So my finished bust is 45. That puts me at the 20 wide, we'll just say 20 measurement. My finished hip is 50.5. And this is with the ease. Let me say that. This is with ease. So with this one, let's see, the bust, what I did was put the flexi tape around my full bust. You know, first got it at my measurement itself, so snugly, and then start loosening up and see how much ease I liked, and it ended up being 45. So that ended up at the 20. So for the hips, what I did was put it so it's snug around the full hips, and basically sit down like you're sitting in a chair or doing a squat, sorry. And that creates that ease. And then stand back up and look at it and see, hey, is that too much, or you know, just right. And with that's why I said sit. I was sitting down. That's at 50.5. That puts me at 22 wide. And for the waist, you just again take the tape measure, put around your natural waist. So bend to the side so you find your natural waist. and then loosen it, you know, wiggle around a little bit, and you know, see what that measurement is and what feels comfortable to you, sorry. And my measurement was 22. So again, the bodice will be at a 20, and from the waist down will be at a 22 wide. So we'll be grading. So first thing first is, I don't have one, is a highlighter. Will be ideal. I don't have a highlighter, so I'll just take my marking pen here, and I'm gonna do dots, but you should just do highlight because you have highlighter. And so what you want to do is, starting all the way up at the shoulder, mark the 20 line, okay? And so this 20 line here is this first line, and I'm just marking it. And it's gonna mark because you want to know where you're cutting. I'm trying to do this and hold at the same time. And for your markings here, I'm going to find the 20. And oh, remember to lightly iron your tissue paper so there's no wrinkles, because you see here there's a wrinkle and I had to lift it to see it. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it's completely free. And here what I do is just highlight the circle for 20. The notch, which, you know, they're kind of on top of one another, but it's that first one. And just keep going. Again, see, because I didn't iron it for time purposes. And then I'm going to find my 20 along here, which is probably this first one. And it is. And finish marking on that line. Get to the notch. Sorry, guys. Mark that notch. And just for reference, that's the finished bust measurements up there. So where the area is, they'll have the finish on at least one pattern piece. There's usually the front. All right, now we're getting to where we will grade. All right, so I just go all the way down to the bottom, right? And then from this point, from the waist, it's a 22, right? So just mark right now. We're just marking the lines, and then we'll go back in to blend the two together. So just mark 22. And then there's a notch there, so mark that. And all the way down. So you get the gist. It goes all the way down. You get the gist there. And I usually color these in just so I can recognize that that's what I'm supposed to mark on my pattern, because, you know, everything can look the same. So even if it doesn't have, you know, the number there, I just still mark any kind of markings, pattern markings, so I can make sure to transfer them. So one there. So I'm gonna mark that. That's a dot here. Make sure to mark that. So again, you just have to really scan your pattern pieces and make sure to transfer any markings. And again, what I do first is just find them and color them in a different color so they'll stand out more when I come to transfer them. Now, what you need here is a curve ruler. So remember, one of those essential type utensils is a curve ruler. And I have a hip curve ruler. A hip curve, but you don't need a hip curve. This is my hip curve. You can have any kind of curve. That's a curve ruler. This is another curve. I use that for my armhole, but any kind of curve. Okay. And what you want to do is blend it. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that your ruler, this is clear so it's kind of hard to see, is one part is on the top portion, 22, the other part is on where you want to blend it, right? And you just find the nicest blend. And how I usually do it is make sure that part of the ruler, like all of this, is still on the 20, right? And that's a good blend to me. And then it curves down to the 22, and part of the ruler, even going further past where it needs to right here, it's still on that 22. So to me, that's a good blend. So what I would do is, here's my marker, and mark from here where that transfer starts to happen. Okay, and now this is no longer, sorry, got something in my mouth. So this is no longer your line. Okay, you done blended it. So you see now, so it's very visible. Now if you can see, that line started up there, that ruler started way up there and blended here, and it was still on this line. So that's how you know it was a nice blend. And that's all to blending between sizes. Okay, if you have any questions on that, let me know. Again, go ahead and get your pattern so we can get started on the skirt. Any questions? Let me know. Everyone have a good day. Bye.